James Scarlett from, I was going to call it Grey Glasgow, but the sun seems to have just randomly cracked in just before we started recording. We go again.
Yeah, it seems like we do, mate. We fucking...
What a sigh.
Unbeknownst to... Well, I woke up this morning to... so I had a really early night last night because I've had a big weekend. And I woke up this morning to a text from you saying, I'm going to Radiohead. We need to record a podcast today. So there's two ways of tackling this, isn't there? There's either the professional way where you style it out. I mean, I listen quite a lot to Stick to Football at the moment. I'm really into Stick to Football podcasts. I think it's fucking great. And I sometimes wonder how Gary Neville, Ian Wright, Roy Keane, and about 3 others of famous people managed to get in a room together and seem so prepared in all the fucking shit they must do in a week. And we spend a year just chasing ourselves, don't we? We're like, it's very rarely you're just like, oh, it's just so organised. And so today I woke up this morning without, sort of in the back of my head was, I probably should contact Gav and be like, what are we going to talk about this week? And presumably we're doing it on Wednesday. And it's like, no, in 3 hours' time, you will be recording a podcast.
In my defence, right, first off, it's Radiohead. Shit needs to move aside for Radiohead. Secondly, I did say Wednesday by the time I get back up the road, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, but that clearly has a bunch of its own issues, not least your life and plans for your life. But then Shifty's a bit like, I can do it, but we might not get it finished until after midnight. And then that caused a problem last week with the Podbean. So one of the platforms that needs 12 hours to process it. So then you've got a situation where people waking up at 6 in the morning and wonder where their podcast is. So I did say we could do Wednesday. It just wasn't ideal.
I think we're sometimes at our best in the face of adversity. I really love, I don't big ourselves up, but I always give our podcast a rating in my head out of 10. And I loved last week's, and that was, you know, that's me and you winging it. You're on holiday. But I thought it was a really good one.
Let's start from a position of patting our own backs then. Or let someone else do it for us. I wish I'd got the name of the guy on the group who said that was the best episode that we'd ever done. And you get that often. Some people thought the Sarah episode was the best episode we've ever done, or the Costa, the festival's the best. Some people just, it strikes a chord with what they want, be it the guest or the information. But what was different about this one, it wasn't just saying, oh, I enjoyed that. It was like, the reason behind it was like, these two guys are, first off, absolutely flying and and how much they're enjoying this conversation. Gav with Damnation, James we get the headliners for ArcTanGent, which this episode will be about. Gav's in holiday. They are in a situation where there's no episode planned, really, so they're just winging it as two mates having a conversation. And it really struck a chord with that guy. It was like, that is the way that I want to promote one pod. And it might, I sometimes don't know. We're obsessed about the actual episodes and the content. We're obsessed about, we can't have a Q&A because it's been 2 weeks since the last one, or we need to get a guest on because it's been 6 weeks. And we get ourselves in a bit of a fuddle about what can we do next and how is that time appropriate. Sometimes I wonder if the listeners even know or care. It was a bit like, if you've done 2 guests back to back, would anyone go, oh no, I don't want any more guests? Or if you've done 3 Q&As in a month, would people go, oh, there's no way I'm listening again if you do another Q&A? Whereas we get ourselves quite worked up about what we're doing. So it might not have struck a chord with people last week, but that was the first time in 95 pods. So we never actually had a plan at all. It wasn't even a Q&A. It was like, we are literally just jumping. Like, Talk Like an Egyptian is not an episode plan title. It's just a play on that sentence. So when we're putting it out, the both of us were still a wee bit apprehensive, like, shit, what if this is strayed too far into, like, you get a lot of podcasts where it's just two hosts that are telling you about their life, which, unless you're invested in the people that are on that podcast, is boring as fuck. So it was really quite great to see the feedback afterwards, people going, I fucking really enjoyed it, and we're not going to get too far up our own arses, don't get me wrong, we're not going to tell you our Monday to Friday schedule's 95 and it's all about us. I'll continue in that vein, but it's nice to have a bit of freedom. I think you replied to me, this podcast can go on indefinitely if you have that freedom to be able to go on and just tell good stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives you a bit, and like with Christmas coming up, that gives you a bit more comfort that you can we can do it. It's like, this is the weird thing about this podcast. I doubt there are many podcasts that would talk like this at the start of an episode, but it's supposed to be behind the scenes. So it's fucking, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I listen to a podcast and you're 5 minutes in and the intro music's still playing. If we getting started at some point, I mean, how excited and invested can I be in the fucking intro music and then the introduction? I mean, I get it. And I am Gavin McAnally of Damnation Festival, and if this is the first time you're listening, but listen, just get caught up. I mean, is it fair in the people listening to the other 94 episodes for me to come on and introduce myself again? I mean, like, it's up to you to catch up. It's not up to us to catch you up. So, aye, it's great. It's fucking great. I was buzzing off it. The numbers have been great with it. It was the feedback's been great with it. It's been fucking class, man. I really, this is not, I don't need this today. I've got other shit that I really still need to get done. I mean, I still don't know what money's been made from the merch tent at Damnation. I've still got a couple of stray invoices. Paul got in touch with me. We haven't paid the Portaloo guy yet, when I was pretty sure we had. So they go through the bank statement with that. So it's like, and then I'm going to Radiohead tomorrow in London with my daughter, which we can get to in a second. And it's like, oh fuck, when you text me say we're doing this today, I'm like, James, man, I've got no headspace to do a podcast today. But no, I'm here, I'm like, fucking let's go. I'm enjoying it. I love a chat.
Good. Yeah, me neither. I mean, it wasn't that I wanted to do it today, but it felt like probably the only day. So here we are, mate. Here we are.
So,
what's your so how are you feeling after your holiday? You rested?
Yeah, aye. It was. I mean, it was still. It was a working holiday in the sense that I was still paying bills and I was still chasing bands and trying to get shit lined up for Damnation, which I'm doing to this point. Same stuff that regular listeners would know about. Just chasing agents that have told you that a band was confirmed 3 months ago. We still won't give you that thumbs up because the promoter in Switzerland hasn't confirmed their show yet, and you're just like, oh man, it's like. We've done almost 2,000 tickets for Damnation Blind, and I need that momentum train to keep going with a good, solid first announcement. And for a good, solid first announcement, I need your goddamn bands that you've already told me are going to be playing, but won't let me put the poster. I already missed the opportunity to get them on the screens. Now I don't want to miss that opportunity of payday before everyone's distracted, because into Christmas and Damnation's the last thing you're thinking about. So, aye, doing that, but Egypt itself was class. I mean, obviously I went through a lot in the points last week, and people were enjoying the old racist granny in the flight. Unfortunately, she wasn't on my flight back. I did look for her. I was going to ask to get my seat swapped beside her so I could go part two in that discussion. I had some bullet points that I don't feel I got addressed to her, but she wasn't there. I take it she was away being fucking condescending to some Egyptians. The taxi journey back was Uber endorsed, so I didn't feel like I might get fucking murdered in the way back either. Although, after a really good week in the hotel, and just as we were leaving, and I'd went to the wee cash machine just to make sure I got more Egyptian money so we could tip people on the way out, and make sure I had money for the airport to tip anybody, because everybody just fucking tip everybody in Egypt basically. And when I get back, my wife's like, look, they've got a sheet here that says it's got a cost in it. It's like 1,800, and I was like, fuck, what? And that way my heart absolutely sank, because I was a bit like, well, look how fucking much how much I rushed it. I went across there without trousers, and I got in a fucking I got in a taxi that wasn't a taxi. I mean, I wasn't the best prepared for that holiday, and a part of me just felt, have I just thought this is all inclusive and it's not? So basically, everything I've everything I've ate and drank, all I paid was, I mean, for what you got. For a couple of taking me the flights for a couple of grand, I'm not saying a couple of grand's cheap, but for the holidays in comparison to what I've done before, it was unbelievably reasonable. So I was about like, shit, have I fucked this? If I now get like an £1,800 bill for everything I've sat in it and drank the cocktails, I've been like, oh, this is brilliant, look at this. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, thank fuck, that's in the Egyptian money. So I worked out, it was like 30 or 40 quid. It's like, right, okay. So whatever it is, at least it's only 30 or 40 quid. But the guys were being a bit, I was trying to get an Uber to sort it, and I was like, what is this for? Is this a late checkout or whatever? And they're like, no, it's for drinks you had in the Italian restaurant. I'm like, we've never took, because there was stuff like you could, like Prosecco and that, you could buy it over and above what was all-inclusive. So we've not had a single drink that was, I mean, everything, the all-inclusive was pretty, I mean, you could get what you wanted. So, no, it absolutely wasn't us. And then he started getting a bit like, let us prove to you that it was. And I feel like, oh, my back's getting up a wee bit here after like a week of And that's been absolutely fine and dandy. Now there's like a dispute over this £30. It's like, no, you're a fucking liar. And I was like, well, hold the bus. Show me, like, he pulls out this receipt. Something we never drank. Apparently, it was 2 specialist shots, so we certainly never drank. Because I remember the night, it was before I went to see the Scotland game, and I wasn't feeling that great. Never mind ordering specialist shots, and the signature wasn't mine. So the only thing in the slip that was it was the room number, which fucking anybody could say. So I'm like, no, that's not. So what night were you in the Italian? And we got that. I'm like, what fucking difference does it make? I'm telling you, it wasn't us. It's not my signature. It's not us. 5 of them. End up 5 people behind the reception trying to get this hotel manager together. Me getting more and more worked up as I'm going, because I'm like, you call me a fucking... I mean, I'm here with money, man, to try to tip you guys 30 quid. And now you're saying, I owe you 30 quid for 2 drinks that I don't even fucking... I never had. And my taxi's outside. The Uber's outside. The guy's going, great, come on, I'm going to get charged for it. And they've got my luggage. They're not giving me my luggage back until I've settled the bill. And I'm like, I'm not fucking certain. I'll just stay in this hotel. I'll get other flights. I am not paying for 2 drinks that we never had, that I've told you we never had. So backwards and forwards, but in 15 minutes, and at this point, the Kelly's starting to get worked up about it. And I was like, mate, I know, but you were in the restaurant. Like, who fucking cares? I'm not telling you I wasn't in the restaurant tonight. I'm telling you I've had those shots. So the manager comes in, and by this point, I'm angry. So when the manager comes in, I'm like, where the fuck have you been? He's like... Where the fuck have you been? Or the guy's been trying to get hold of me. I says, look, this is a fucking farce. I've told him I never had those drinks. That is not my signature. I wasn't. And why would I try to con you at a £30 at the end of this fucking £3 holiday? It makes no sense whatsoever. And the manager's about like, we need to get this guy out of reception, basically, because there's people coming into the hotel and the first thing they're seeing is this fucking Scottish guy who sounds like an angry Dutchman. So that was an unfortunate end to a very, very pleasant stay. And again, I'm not going to be one of those TripAdvisor wankers and go on and like ruin a fucking great stay because I get called a lying thief on the way out. But it was unfortunate. It's like it left a sour taste after a really, really fucking lovely week. Got back to the airport fine, and it was just that long drawn out 6 hours EasyJet back to, I mean, and then you're landing, it's 1 a.m, fucking -7 in Glasgow. You're just like, oh, I'm usually quite happy to get back. I mean, I love my home life as well. So I'm like, not like I'm crying or shit. And it's like, as my daughter would say, I don't have a real job to go back to break my heart either. So, but landing in that at 1 a.m. and fucking freezing cold was like, oh, this is brutal. But we got back. It's all been fine. Still chasing my tail a bit. I mean, I've still got the banners from the Harris fencing in my dining room, like 70 huge banners to get rolled up. Still get merch kicking about in my gym. I've got, it's a fucking the house was a riot with damnation stuff, and Kelly's patience is starting to wear a little bit thin with that. And to make it even thinner, I decided I'd go and see Radiohead.
Fair play, mate. I've just sold my tickets, so I'm very impressed that you are making it straight off the back of a holiday.
You know what was a weird one? Obviously, I want to talk a bit about it. Maybe we'll do it after your waffle, so I'm not just going on for fucking 15 minutes. I want to talk a bit about this community and about the people that listen to this pod. And a part of it that really struck me was when Katie went to Damnation, she was getting stopped, not a couple of times, but a lot of times by people asking her, are you going to get to see Radiohead? And she was just like, blown away with it. Like, how are these people that I've never even seen, I can even recognise as asking me, not even about Damnation, are you Gavin's daughter of Damnation or whatever, but they'd seen the video with her do the TikTok strangling herself, saying I'm not allowed to go to Radiohead because my dad's taking my mum instead, and then asking her about it, and she was like, oh, and I'd say, look, it's still a possibility we could get tickets for Tuesday, but there's so many hurdles to overcome. You've got your prelims coming up, you can't be missing 2 days at school. The flights and trains will be an absolute fortune. Accommodation in London's going to be an absolute fortune. I don't even know if I can get the tickets moved to the Tuesday. And one by one, we're about like, 8 years since I last played. I mean, are Radiohead ever going to do a gig again? I mean, after this run, is it going to be another 8 years? I'm a bit like, you need to, the offer of tickets is there. We need to strike while you've got an option to do it. And I don't want Katie to be 30 and Radiohead to be defunct, and to be like, oh, you know what, my favourite band in the world is Radiohead, and I never ever got to experience it. Some things are just more important than 2 days of school. So I was like, okay, if we can do this for not costing a fucking absolute arm and a leg, we'll just take advantage of it. And slowly but surely, last night I got on and booked the trains are going down. A wee fucking bed sit kind of thing next to Euston Station, and obviously get the tickets confirmed. So thank you to that person. I don't know if I should be talking about that on publicly, but thank you to the person. They know who they are anyway. So aye, gone down to Radiohead, absolutely buzzing about it. My daughter is absolutely buzzing. She'll be forced to study in the whole $5 change on the rail and forced to study the whole $5 change on the back. But I'm sure that's a small price to pay for finally getting to see the brilliance of what I'm told is a spectacular Radiohead set.
Yeah, well, I've seen the apologies for the noise in the background. That's my coffee machine turning itself off. The videos look fucking great. To be honest, I'm trying not to think about it because I had tickets, and it's just. I mean, you're coming from a lot further away than I am, but it's just a shitter to get to that venue. I'm helping my mum and dad move house. It's just too much going on in 1 week. I've never seen them, and you never really know when bands, like bands like Radiohead, they do what they want to do, and if they don't want to do it, they don't do it. So when they kind of come back, you're never really sure if, Tom York wants to buy a new house, or does he actually really want to do it? And from the videos I've seen, they all look fucking totally immersed in it. And he's dancing around. It properly looks like, I mean, clearly it's going to be a great show. They're in the round, aren't they? And there's some weird Tool-esque, a bit like that Tool curtain that they had. Something along those lines. No one has said anything other than the show's fucking amazing. So I think the band look like they're into it. The show looks like it's great. So
yeah, well, listen, let's hope. I mean, we'd love to have you there, James, obviously, but let's hope that this is a start. It kickstart them into a wee bit of life. I mean, look at Tool. They fucked off forever and then came back and then had a wee splodge of shows all over the gaff and then started headlining festivals. Maybe you'll get them. You'll see Radiohead, I don't know, headlining. Well, no, be next, or will be next year's Leeds and Red, or the year after, or whatever, and we'll maybe get some more shows out if they enjoy it. Because I think you're totally right. I think it's, do they enjoy it? Do they feel like they're getting something from it? If they do, they'll record music and they'll do live shows. And if they don't, they won't. They've got plenty else going on. I'm sure they're not short of a penny. So just looking forward to going this year. I have seen them a couple of times before. I think I mentioned previous in the podcast. I saw them at the first Transmit, and their bangers were bangers. And then in between, it did look a wee bit nonchalant, a wee bit indifferent, a wee bit like they would rather be anywhere else. And it did come through in the performance, and the atmosphere died quickly. And then a big banger would come back on, like Fake Plastic Trees or Paranoid Android, and the whole place would kick off again. I feel like with that crowd, that sort of intense, just all their fans in London, they'll probably get away with. I mean, I've seen in a set list that Optimistic's on there, which is the lyric I've got tattooed on my arm, and my son was born to. So play Optimistic, I'm going to fucking lose my shit and start a mosh pit. So, aye. Fucking let's go. I'm buzzing. I mean, I do not need to be doing this pod today, and I do not need to be going to Radiohead tomorrow, but I'm doing fucking both because I want to. So let's go. How is your life shaping up, James?
well, we've got a question later which will, I guess, answer that in more detail, but fuck me, I am really busy at the moment. Really, really, really busy. It's the time of year where you get caught between every single type of job you do, which we will go into in more detail. But the thing that I'm going to give you my fact of the week, and then we'll talk about the ATG band announcement, because that is the most all-consuming part of what's been going on for the last 2 weeks. And obviously we did our little teaser last week where we bleeped it out. I'm not sure if everyone hated that or not. It was quite it was comedy to see everyone guessing, some guessing correctly. I'm not sure how good a tease that was, actually. People were like, well, I can tell, even though they blurred my mouth, you can tell what he's saying. It's like,
It was the length of the pause that people were doing as well. People were nailing them, and the length of the pause and how long you were getting to see it. Because I jokingly said when I was at that Mexican restaurant and myself in Egypt, you get all three right, and I'll tell you, like, thinking I've done that kind of thing before, like get the headliners right to Damnation, come up to the balcony. Like, there's just no way in the world that somebody's going to get Corrosion Conformity and Napalm Death. And see how close so many of them came. It was like it was one band down. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm really getting put to the test here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done a bunch of teasers, which I'll talk you through in a bit as well, which people are good at guessing. So yeah, it's Well, starting with my fact of the week. So my fact of the week is this, is that we gave a pod discount for trees and ATG on the tickets when we did the super early birds back straight after the festival. And I think Si was expecting like 50 tickets or whatever. But 10% of our early bird sales for both festivals, well, more than 10% of trees and ATG came through that pod discount code, which is fucking amazing, really. And I think it fits quite well with the fact of the week from last week, which was all the sort of cross-pollination between the two festivals, and which I, as you sort of mentioned, I find quite a heartwarming thing. It's nice. So good effort from the listeners, and I feel like my push this year is for people to go and try a new festival, one of the three, right? If you've only been to Damnation, then come and try trees or ATG, and vice versa. And on that note, Si has agreed to do the discount again. So it's the announcement goes out Wednesday this week. This podcast comes out Thursday, and tomorrow will be Black Friday. The code is ATGBF. So it's a Black Friday code, and gives you a 10% discount on whatever the tickets are at. It gives you 10% off on top of what everyone else gets. I've said this before, do not fucking share it anywhere else. It's for people that listen to the podcast. Yeah. So
this won't be going into a mailer. ATGBF will also be acknowledged as via the podcast. And that's the only way you're getting that code is via the podcast.
Exactly. So whatever the ATG ticket price is, at the end, you put in ATGBF and you will get this discount for Black Friday and the few days following it. So if you're going to buy a ticket this week, which I would strongly recommend you do, then that's your code, which is a nice segue into the ATG band announcement.
Yeah, that's absolutely class. Honestly, 10% of ticket sales for both. Sometimes, especially ATG, when I'm there and I'm in the big tent and I'm kind of swanning about like I'm the fucking 12th organiser. If there's a wee bit of imposter syndrome, a wee bit like cutting about, you're like, you know what, you've got about fucking the guys here, and I'm sort of like James's fucking right hand man. You're like, who we got to see next, big man? I mean, it's like, Gav, what do you do to deserve any of this? 10% of your ticket sales, motherfuckers. That's what I do. 10% of your fucking ticket sales. So bigger tent, please. Come for your bed and more champagne, and that will do nicely. Fucking hell, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Amazing. I thought you'd like that one. So it's weird. Today is Monday. We're doing this announcement on Wednesday. So when this podcast comes out, these bands will all be out there. So we're going to talk a bit about who it is and why I'm excited. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about how the bands got booked and stuff. And we'll talk about the teasers and just anything Gav wants to know, really. But I mean, it's hard to know where to start. But the main stage headliner on Friday is fucking Primus. On Friday is Primus.
Well, let's just start there. Go through them as we're doing them. So the Primus now, there's an excitement about Primus which is genuine. It's like that is page one, top end, page one. ArcTanGent, suited. I said in the last pod, that's the band I don't know a great deal other than the legend, other than them being a one of those like bands that everyone references as one of their influences coming up. So tell me all about, for the start, like how long you've been chasing them and what it was like to finally get them.
Well, I mean, so the mad thing about Primus is they rarely come to Europe. So the last time they played a UK show was in 2017, right? And I was Googling like Primus UK tours, and there's this post in 2011 saying this is the first Primus UK show for 14 years. So in 2011 they did some shows, and it was a 14-year gap before that. They're doing shows now, and it's like it's all the way back to 2017 when they last played, 9-year gap. So like this is the fucking time to see them, right? Because they probably won't come again for another 10 years, and we'll all be fucking dead. So, you know, so, I mean, this goes back years and years and years. So I first inquired, and you get one of those agent things where they say, "Oh, I'm not sure if they're touring. We need an anchor." And when the phrase "we need an anchor" means they need someone to come up with a massive fat load of money, and then they might build some other stuff around it. and there was just no anchor to make it work. And ArcTanGent, I mean, I think we are now part of the anchor, but back 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had the band budget to do that. So you'd need a Hellfest or something else to put in some big money. So it was one of those things where it just trundled on. Every year I would inquire, and every year it wouldn't happen. And I kind of gave up. A bit like the Mars Volta. It's just like every year you inquire, never really goes anywhere. And eventually you just think it's never going to happen. And if you remember, a few months ago on the probably a few weeks ago on the podcast, I told a story about a page one band where the agent had said to me, I can't get fucking hold of you on the phone. I really wanted to tell you this on the phone. You need to ring me. And I rang him, and he was like, Primus are going to come to Europe this summer, and I wanted to tell you about it, and I want you to give me your best possible offer.
And at that point, is it like no fucking around here, James? It's like we don't have time to be going backwards and forwards and penny pinching or 5 or 10 grand. It's like, what's your best fucking offer, and we'll go from there and see what we can build.
Yeah, exactly. And often when it's a band like that and someone says, give us your best offer, you do give them your best offer. So yeah, still took a couple of months to happen, and I didn't really know. So when I was on holiday a few weeks ago, I was emailing them every day to fucking try and get this over the line, and I just couldn't quite get it over the line. And actually the other two headliners that we'll talk about in a minute, I couldn't quite get them over the line either. These have all been trundling along for like a good couple of months at least. So yeah, I think it's going to be a real fucking moment. It feels like, I mean, this lineup in general, I think, is one of the best ArcTanGent lineups ever already, and I've still got a bunch of bands to book. But just to have these like ATG debuts where there's no like, oh yeah, I've seen this, or even like if you book an Opeth or a Devon Townsend, everyone's seen them at Download, and they saw them on the previous 3 UK tours, and it's not that it's not fucking great booking, and it's exciting. It is.
They're active bands. I mean, you've had a chance to see, but there's so many people, myself included. I'm going to see Primus at ArcTanGent, and I've never had a chance to see them before, I don't believe.
No, me neither. So I've never seen Primus. So it's like, this is a proper like special thing. It's like, we are the festival. And to be honest, I don't think they went to any other festivals, and that makes me feel really good. It's like, we've got ourselves to the point where in this world, we are the festival to go to in the UK. So that's fucking cool. And then Chelsea Wolfe, who's headlining the Thursday, and I mentioned last week on the podcast, we had confirmed in 2020 and during COVID, and it never happened. I mean, fuck me. If you want a stat, I looked back, and in the last 2 months, I have sent 34 emails with the subject title Chelsea Wolfe, like 34 in the last 2 months. So the initial offer went out in mid-September, and since then there's been 34 fucking emails back and forwards, multiple phone calls between me and they changed booking agents halfway through this, and multiple phone calls with both agents, and loads and loads of emails, and finally fucking over the line on that one. So that, you know, it's the first ever first woman to headline ArcTanGent, which is fucking great. Like, I think that's for our very, very fucking male centric scene is a big thing, it feels like. And that's not why I booked Chelsea Wolfe. I'm a fan, and it will be fucking great. So
I mean, someone who's trying to get Chelsea Wolfe from last year's Damnation lineup, it's great. And it's, again, it was like, oh, let's get Chelsea Wolfe because she doesn't have a penis. No, it was because she's fucking class, and I wanted her to play Damnation. So I'm glad that final one. And if you're gonna book incredible women to play at your festival, who's your third headliner?
Well, it's Cult of Luna and Julie Christmas playing Mariner for its 10th anniversary. So that's like, I mean, that's mad, isn't it? So the last time I saw Mariner played was at Damnation.
Yeah.
I don't know what year that was.
I mean, it's like there's such a, because there was a post yesterday on the Damnation forums, I believe, and it was like, oh, 10th anniversary, it needs to happen, I need to see it. And obviously by this point I was well aware. Damnation never made an offer for Mariner this year. You know what? It's been done. it's been done at Damnation. I know you can get things like a warning doing watch from a distance being done before at Damnation, but as much as I'd be delighted to have Mariner, I did feel if he was going to come back to the UK and do it, I felt like ArcTanGent was just a fresher look on it. And I don't know the fee you're paid for Mariner. But I mean,
because I wouldn't tell you when you asked me.
if I had to hazard a guess, because I think if you feel both the same, it's more than the market value. I think you could get all 3, 4 the last 4 Damnation headliners probably combined for what you're going to pay for Mariner, and I need to be a bit more savvy with what it actually is and what we have had it before. So I am over the fucking moon about Mariner being performed again and the chance to come down to ArcTanGent, close the festival with the best post-metal album ever recorded, the best thing that Cult of Luna have ever been involved in, the best thing Julie Christmas have ever been involved in. And it's going to be spectacular. I mean, finishing the weekend with Cygnus is going to be fucking unreal. So, I'm delighted for, unfortunately for the Damnation fans who don't usually go to ArcTanGent and want to see Mariner at Damnation, I get that. But the chance is there. Get your ass to ArcTanGent. Join the fucking army of Damnation fans that now go to ArcTanGent, and we'll all be in that tent enjoying it together.
Yeah, and look, they've got no plans to do this anywhere else in the world, right? So I intentionally made it the last band of the festival because it feels like it's going to be a real fucking moment. It's going to be a moment personally for me. And, you know, there's other people in our team who fucking love them. Si's like so excited that this is happening at ArcTanGent. And it's going to be a fucking hell of an end. And look, I don't know if there's Damnation fans listening, you can buy day tickets to ArcTanGent. You can even buy evening tickets. There's tickets on sale where you come in at 6 p.m. and you watch a couple of bands. I would always recommend a weekend ticket. It's like come and immerse yourself. But if not, you can come for the day, and that's going to be a real moment. I mean, I felt like what I wanted to do this year at ArcTanGent is make the headliners special rather than that you could book bigger bands that aren't special, like Meshuggah, Devon Townsend, Opeth, all of who I would have back at ArcTanGent, and I will sometime. But there's something about these headliners where it's just like, well, this is a fucking unique festival. I mean, you look around Europe and the world, and there's a lot of very similar festival lineups around, and I just wanted to do something that fucking wasn't, and you're not going to see this anywhere else. So that's fucking great.
I am over the fucking moon of it. Honestly, all 3 are interesting to me. I don't have the same level of love for Chelsea Wolfe and Primus as I obviously do for Cult of Luna and Julie Christmas, but all 3 are sets that I would definitely get out my tent or from another tent or the VIP bar to be at and be like, right, okay, let's see what's going on here, blow me away. And Mariner's the one that I would get in a flight and go. I mean, I went across to Roadburn when they done Mariner across there as well, because it's such a fucking special album. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well done on all 3 bands to you and your team for pulling that together.
Thanks, mate. And then there was a couple of bookings which we held back until after Damnation, which was, they're both Yokai second stage headliners. Friday is Napalm Death and Saturday is High on Fire. I mean, Napalm Death is a weird one because I had considered Napalm Death a couple of years ago and I kind of ummed and ahed on it. I wasn't really sure whether it was the right thing. And as soon as Shane Embury bumped into me, or I bumped into him at ArcTanGent, and he was like, "We want to do it. Why have we never done it? We'll do a special set like we did at Roadburn to be more in keeping with the sort of, I suppose, slightly less metal crowd than they would normally play to."
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, please. So that would be fucking cool.
So Napalm Death we've got on the Friday, was it?
Yeah.
So is that a Friday situation? You get Napalm Death, you finish that, and you just wander over and watch Primus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm sure Shane Embury will be happy with, right? He's a bassist. He's going to be all over fucking Primus, I'd guess. So yeah, 5-minute gap. And you're straight into
enough time to pick up a White Russian en route.
Absolutely, mate. Or 2, depending on how you feel.
And then High on Fire for your Saturday. The Saturday.
Yeah, so that will go straight into Mariner. after
Fucking
High on
hell.
Fire.
But mate, people give me grief about like give us a bit of time for respite. That is here's you just fall, slap, have that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, so none of those bands, we've talked about 5 bands so far, none of them have played ArcTanGent before. And I mean, obviously Cult Luna and Julie Christmas have, but not in this way. So that is fucking just I'm just stoked. It's quite hard to keep your lineups fresh if you're Damnation or ArcTanGent year on year on year, because the pool of bands isn't necessarily expanding. So yeah, that's exciting. And then Wednesday headliner is 6th. So I was pretty happy when we announced we did the first ArcTanGent announcement, and people were really enthusiastic about the Wednesday lineup. And I've still got, even after 6th, there's still another 2 bands to come. So Wednesday's looking good. 4-day tickets, including the Wednesday, will definitely sell out this year. So
And to clarify again for your Wednesday, because there's none of the Wardruna situation happening with the main stage, but you've got 2 stages side by side, nothing clashing.
yeah, correct. So it goes PX3, Yokai, PX3, Yokai, back and forwards, 5-minute gaps, nothing clashing, and none of the main stage. Main stage will definitely not be open this year, and I'll be surprised if it ever happens again. I didn't really vibe it. So yeah, so that'll be great. 2 more bands to come for that, but they're not going to be in this announcement. And like Sick loved the festival last year. Mikey was there with the Sad Season, and
I remember I was talking to him in the bar for 20 minutes where either of us known who each other person was.
Brilliant, fucking love it. So that'll be great. And then Conjurer, who are fucking super hot right now. I'm really happy with how they just seem to be on the up. Like they just sold out a bunch of their tour, if not all the tour, and Bristol by all accounts was fucking on fire, and so was the Underworld in London. So yeah, and one of the sets of Damnation, I think that seems to be a common consensus. I mean, the crowd size was fucking huge, and bigger than some of the much bigger bands later on in the day.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and I feel like Conjurer really needed a couple of things in their jigsaw just to like click at the same time. And I feel like the great new album, the UK tour smashing it, and then that ridiculous opening set at Damnation at 5,000 people, using the screen to its full capacity, which we might be getting a wee bit later, and just blowing people away with just how tight and how good they are as a band, and not just like, oh, there's one, because we do that all the time. We're good UK bands, we're employed to serve our small bards and our conjurers. They're just like, aye, great, we get to see them so often, we don't get excited enough about them. They're like, oh, they'll be on tour or they'll support one of the next big bands when Killswitch Engage or Gojira or something come back round, and we just don't really give them the credit that they deserve by themselves, without any sort of, oh, I'll get them the next festival. You know, just at how good a band like Conjurer are. And it feels like at the moment this is hopefully the build for them, where they can be like, right, okay, we are a band that can go and sell it to Underworld. We can fill Damnation's main stage. We can assume, looking at where you've got them here on your poster, they're pretty high up on your billing now too. It's like, great, let's see, let's get behind them and keep pushing.
Yeah, so that'll be super exciting. And then we've got Joe Quayle playing. So Joe, as anyone that has seen Joe at either ArcTanGent or Damnation in the past will know that she's a cellist, and is often solo, but she's coming with this thing called the Crossbones Ensemble, and it is basically fuckloads of brass, right? And they are, well, the way it's been sold to me is it's like the heaviest thing you can imagine, because the brass is very like bassy and heavy. And so it's Joe, there's going to be a load of them on the stage. And I get on really well with the booking agents, and we just sort of talked about how this would work the best, and we're going to go main stage. So it will be daytime Saturday on the main stage, and yeah, you're going to have Joe just fucking absolutely ripping it up. I'm just trying to open my spreadsheet now so I can tell you, because there was a run of bands on the main stage on Saturday. So basically it goes Joe Quayle into Oathbreaker, into Chatpile, into one other, into Mariner, which is a fucking run, man.
I mean, consider them high and fire just to squeeze in the middle there somewhere as well. Is just
Well, yeah,
fucking...
and Conjurer, come to that, and TTNG. So all of that's happening on the Saturday. So there's yeah, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be good. It's
Joe
gonna be
Quayle. I
good
mean,
fun.
I caught obviously more often not she performed solo, at headlining one of the smaller rooms at Core, and it's just fucking hypnotic. I mean, it really it's hard to because it's not like anything else. It's just not like anything else. You go to a million festivals, you don't get Joe Quayle stand up there with a cello, absolutely somehow being just as heavy as the hardcore band. I mean, it's hypnotic, but it's also heavy and it fits well. So we're looking forward to seeing what she does on the main stage with the brass ensemble. So
And some of the time, I feel like sometimes like there's a skill to booking, which is like being able to imagine what something will be like, and putting it on the main stage where someone else might not have had it there. I feel like the ATG main stage is quite special in the day, and if you get the right thing, like Overhead the Albatross, you can really pull it off. It's like what you did with Conjurer at Damnation, that you maybe someone else would have stuck that on a smaller stage because it's heavy, but just the fucking atmosphere, it was great. And I really think, I think Joe Quayle's going to be amazing. So that's 8 bands, which I'm pretty stoked about. I felt like I wanted to keep the number of bands we announced smaller because it's such a strong announcement. Like
yeah,
sometimes if you go with like, we did fucking 80 bands at Trees or whatever, and it's a
a
lot
lot
for
gets
people to process.
and a lot gets lost. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so we had a situation where we were doing like a night of Salvation. Was it last year? And we had the chance to announce bands like Underdark, like separately, and give them a bit of space and a bit of platform. And people, you get 50, 60, 70 comments are, oh, I haven't checked them out, and where's the best starting point? And oh, the last album was incredible. And you're like, that's amazing. Then you put Underdark on and you get your headliners above and a few your, I know, Perturbators and Armin Razna. There's no conversation about Underdark at all. It's like, oh, aye, okay, I like Underdark, a nice book. And you're like, it's nice sometimes to give the band, you can't, I'm not a big fan of the single announcements, just one band after the other, because I think with the way the algorithm works, you never really get, so sometimes you get these festivals and one appears in your timeline and 4 don't.
Yeah.
And then you find out a week later, oh fucking hell, look at all these great bands that are announced for this. That never even showed up in my algorithm because fucking I know the festival wasn't paying Meta enough for me to see it as a
Yeah.
follower of their event. So I'm not the biggest, I don't dislike it, but I feel like a lot gets missed with the single ones. So there is a nice sweet spot which we try to achieve with Damnation, that whole 4, 5, 6 bands. You still get a bit like that. But I noticed especially with smaller bands, when you give them a bit of space on an announcement to breathe, it can do a lot for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly when there are a bunch of people that would be excited about Underdark or Joe Quayle or Conjure or whatever. So yeah, sometimes less bands is better, I think. So yeah, pretty stoked on all of that. And we've had the usual billing fun where I hate billing. I hate
It's
artwork.
when it's when so you sent me this poster, the poster I'm referring to in front of me now about this liner last week, the week before, and now cannot wait to see.
How
I
different
cannot
it is.
I cannot wait to see how different the actual one that goes into the Republic is, because it's yeah, you've got a weird spot. I mean, Damnation's in the same thing. You get a lot of bands dealing with a lot of similar sized venues, similar sized numbers. Perception for some people is wild. You know what I mean? It's like,
But
no,
you've also got this thing about how special it is and how
yeah,
exclusive it is. And I mean, some things like Mariner have never been done before, so they haven't toured it, have they? So
no,
so you're not what you can't know what that would mean. Some bands have just released an album, have just done shows. Some bands haven't done shows for fucking 10 years in the UK. So it's like, even at the small end, Human Fly reform for the first gig in 13 years or whatever. What does that mean on a poster? It's like, oh man. It's all
and as we've said before, they'll come at your agents. Will come at you from both directions. If they're the agent that's got the exclusive, like one-off set, they will tell you, "My God, this has to go as high up as you get it because you're getting it exclusive." And that exact same agent will use that argument against it. That doesn't mean anything. But so you flew in a fucking band with there, like my band sold at the Forum, and that doesn't mean anything. And I've had the same agent tell me both. sometimes in the space of a same calendar year on a poster that your exclusive is the most important thing in the world, and how dare you question it? What the fuck does an exclusive special mean? That means nothing. It's all about ticket sales. And they're like, at some point, you just need to draw the line. Well, this is what we're doing, and if you're not with it, then I don't suppose you're on the poster.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty painful.
So are you getting through it at the minute? Are people get you?
Yeah, definitely.
And they pulling out the listeners, the monthly listeners of Spotify, and the ticket sales for Bristol.
Yeah, well, I've already had a couple of phone calls today on it. There's definitely some more pain to go on that, and I know that my inbox is, whilst we're talking, because it's less than 48 hours until the actual announcement, there'll be some pain for me to go back to. We always get there eventually. It's just, my thing is, I mean, I don't know how much to tell you because there's agents listening, but it's trying to get the balance of being nice and being arsey is quite hard. Because sometimes I just throw my toys out the front and I'm just like, fuck, this is fucking bullshit. You are just causing everyone pain for no reason. We just fucking accept that I've already argued for your artist and got them as high as they're going to get. They're not it's not getting any better. But then, yeah, sometimes it often depends on how hard the agent's prepared to dig their heels in.
Yeah, the toughest thing is once it's public. Once it's once more than one agent's got it. Because what happens is like a lot of agents will just I don't know, save face or their ego or whatever. It'll be like, okay, between me and you, we could probably get it done. But once one agency knows it, another agency knows, and then it's like, there's no way I'm backing down because that agency is not getting one over me. And then you're a bit like, does that, do we really need to go down that route? So, I do not have I'm no jealousy of the situation at all, and I hope that we manage to dodge a lot of that for this year's damnation. I am chatting here in the hope that you are going to come back on screen, that you're completely frozen on just now, James, but I feel that I have done all the buffering I can do for you. Welcome back, James. What the fuck happened there?
I don't know, mate. The lights dimmed and then the fucking internet went off. And now it's all back again. So
well, I bet a power cut.
Knows? Power cut, mate. Power cut.
Mate, we'll walk through fucking anything. Walk through anything. I don't say that until we get the second half of the podcast done. So
yeah.
There was brilliant. To wrap up the ArcTanGent segment, there was teasers, some movie club teasers that I saw getting posted. Tell us a bit about them.
Yeah, so you always know when we're feeling a bit cocky about our announcements when we start teasing new bands, because you don't want people to be like, oh, fucking hell, that teaser I was so excited, and then you only booked this shit band that I hate. So we did some teasers, and people like to know what those teasers were. So they were like fake movie posters. So I'll just quickly tell you them. There's 6 of them. So we did Apocalypse Now for Napalm Death. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a war film where they use napalm. There are literal napalm deaths in it. And there's that famous quote, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. So I think a bunch of people got that. We then did a Cheech and Chong film, which was for High on Fire, which probably doesn't need a lot of explaining. It's a stoner film. And when we put it out, we also mentioned the Turn Up the Heat in the caption. And there's also 2 hints in the sentence. Californian-born Cheech Marin moved to Canada when he heard rumours of the Vietnam War, and High on Fire from California, and they had a song called Rumours of War. I mean, a few people got that, I think. Then we used the film Seventh for Sixth, which was because the album's about 7 deadly sins. And in the caption, we asked which was the worst of the 7. We also used a sloth emoji, which links to the 6th deadly sin.
I mean, I don't know how up to speed you are with like kids emojis and vernacular, but 6, 7 is very much in trend with this thing now. And the 2000 Trees, whoever runs that account, clearly has a child, because they put up a GIF that was the 6, 7, which kind of was another clue. Yeah,
I mean, that whatever you just said has gone entirely over my head. I guess I need a teenager to know what you're talking about.
To be fair, it's still, I think to this point, I still don't understand what it means, but that's what it is.
And we used the film The Craft for Conjurer because it's a film about witches conjure spells. And we also put a couple of small clues in the copy that we wrote, which included the words Rot and It Dwells, which are Conjurer songs. The song, so Hayden was very clear with me, do not fucking use an easy teaser for Cult of Luna and Julie Christmas doing Mariner. So we ran, that was ran through a number of filters and changed a couple of times. We used the film Eyed Wide Shut because it's a film about a cult and it's set at Christmas. That was a good one, I thought.
Did anyone get that for there?
Well, I'm not sure. The weird thing is, the stupid thing is that people, so we didn't do one for Chelsea Wolfe and we didn't do one for Primus, but pretty much on every teaser clue, people guessed Chelsea Wolfe and Primus. So there are some bands that people, once Primus started getting announced for a couple of European shows, people were like, hang on, this is around the time of ATG. So they're just automatically trying to shoehorn Primus in. And Chelsea Wolfe's never played. I mentioned her last week on the pod as well. So I think people are trying to shoehorn that in. So you never really know if people have got it right. And actually, there's a story. So when we did it for Trees last year, we made the clues really, really fucking hard. And it was possible to get some of them, but basically impossible to get all 5. And there was this guy who started commenting the correct bands, and he got basically Kneecap, he got Alexis on Fire, but he got them on the wrong clues. And like, he never explained his logic. So you start to be like, where do you think this fucking guy's got the information from? He's like, he's sat in some booking agent's office somewhere, isn't he? Being a dick. Like fucking, he's seen the poster and he's fucking leaking them. So the weird thing is, you never really know unless people explain where they got it from, how they've got that. Because this poster, you know, I sent it to you and Tom Begley, didn't I? And you know, Mike Vinart asked me if Primus were playing, and I sent him the poster. And it does end up going to a few people, so you never really know. The final one was There Will Be Blood, which is Joe Quayle. Because in the film, Daniel Day-Lewis says he is purchasing the land to hunt quail. I mean, fucking
hell, I mean, that's fucking.
Fair.
I mean, I know there's a lot of Chelsea Wolfe guests on the one with the craft, the sort of was all the witch and witchcraft or something like that. I actually thought, looking at that poster, knowing that Chelsea Wolfe was on the bill, that was the clue. But I mean, it's a bit of fun. People enjoyed them. You can almost get. I mean, my fear with things like that is, you said, people over egging it and then being disappointed, was like the Cheech and Chong one. A lot of people were saying Sleep, and I knew that Sleep weren't in that poster. So I'm like, that's a hard one to climb back down from. If you get your head into it, you're going to get Sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that is the tricky thing. I guess social media and festivals is so fucking boring. Do you know what I mean? It's just, here's a poster. And we don't do it every time, but sometimes when you've got something that you feel is really strong, it's nice to have a bit of fun with it and get people. I think everyone's hyped for this now. We're fucking ready to go. They're like, gimme. And you know,
no, it certainly does. I mean, it's, as you say, if you've got the bands to pull it through, then go for it. But if your lineup's a bit jaded and rehashed and the bands aren't that strong, and then you come out with all these movie posters and people are about like, yes, it's Mars Volta and fucking Chelsea Wolfe and Primus and Mariner, and then you don't give them that, then that's when it can maybe backfire a wee bit. But I feel like you've got the lineup this year to show off a wee bit and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you say that. So like the last thing is, I mean, fucking get your tickets. Basically, so early birds are on sale. It's 20% off. It's always the cheapest they'll ever be. It's the cheapest they'll ever be. They're super limited. We've also got installment tickets on again there's 22 quid a month. So it's basically a round of drinks, £22 a month. Is it the greatest lineup we've ever done? Maybe. It's fucking going to be up there. This is going to be one of the ones that is talked about. So you've got can you remember what the Black Friday booking code was? ATGBF. Right.
I don't know why we never just went with pod 10. I mean, why are we making it difficult, Simon?
Because Simon's just likes to be difficult.
Simon's like, mate, you'll get there and you'll forget it, check out, pay full price.
Yeah, pod 10 won't work. So go there, find the early bird tickets, which are already 20% off, and you can get another 10 on top of that with ATG.
Well, let's go. Let's fucking fill the place. It's a great weekend in August. It's an absolute great weekend. I've been at all 11, even the Swamps, and had a great time. So get your ass along. I mean, one place you're just not going to get tickets for is Manchester's Two Promoters One Pod. Because I did fucking remember to get that off sale. And even though I was at 12 or 13 sneaky bastards managed to get another ticket beyond the point I wanted it to be sold to, it is off sale. It is sold out as fuck. We have sold out Manchester's Breadshed. That's pretty fucking great. That is
That's fucking
pretty
brilliant.
fucking great.
That's great. We had no idea, did we? Like what that would go to. Some people don't believe me. Like agents ask me, what are you doing? How are your tickets going? And I'm like, well, we've done over 350 tickets in Manchester. And that's fucking good, man. We're bigger than a lot of the bands we talk about. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
I don't want to shit my line up, but we're bigger than Corrosion Conformity, so for fuck's sake. It's unreal. I mean, it really is unreal. I mean, I suppose the grounding element of that whole thing and doing more than 350 tickets in Manchester is we do still have the smaller shows, Brighton and Cardiff on sale. But I would love to see that push. I'd love to. I mean, what has Brighton got left? Like 38 tickets? Let's fucking sell out Brighton. It'd be so good. I've now started to put my brain in action for what we're going to talk about. We'll try to talk Tom Begler into doing Tom's Tour Tales and come up and giving us a couple of examples of some of the weird and wild shit that he's experienced while being on the roadway. Fucking everything from toilet circuit bands to arena bands. So he seems up for that. We need to get a Festival X section done. We want to hear from people about their most horrific experiences of what they have done or seen on the festival circuit that we can bring up each night, and maybe we'll give you some examples of ours. And then the rest it'll be like how our year's been so far and how next year's looking. So a brand new set, as they say, and it's going to be a good one. Each night afterwards we'll definitely be hanging about for some drinks. And then in Manchester, there is a full after party. We need to get a DJ sorted for that. We need to get someone in to come and do some floor fillers from the world of Trees, ArcTanGent, and Damnation. So really looking forward to it. I mean, it's right upon us now, isn't it? I mean, fuck's sake, it's just been in that distance. Like, I know at some point later in life I'll be going on tour again, and now it's
Yeah.
like shit, it's been a couple of weeks. So I'm well up for it. I'm well up for it. So Brighton, Cardiff, you guys still have the opportunity to buy tickets. ctickets.com/Two Promoters One Pod. Come and join us on the 11th of December for Brighton, the 12th of December for Cardiff. Manchester is sold out as fuck.
Happy days. I've got a couple of stories up my sleeve. I like to surprise you more than anyone. I quite like I came to that last tour and you basically didn't know half the things I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps it. I mean, because that's kind of our thing, isn't it? It's like we don't re-record the podcast. We don't talk to each other through what we're gonna, because it keeps it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it loses a wee bit of its spark if you've done it, and then when you're doing it. I mean, if you got a story as good as the trailer going down the hill, you can tell me that another 15 times, James.
Yeah.
Anytime we meet up, you can tell me that story, and I'll sit with my slack jawed, going like, "Holy fuck!"
I'm fully expecting if any night is bombing, you to go. Could you just tell that story? I mean, we haven't actually told. Of course, we haven't told that story in Brighton or Cardiff, but we're not gonna wheel that out.
No, I've been used to it, but I know
chance.
it's great to get the all fresh content. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have. I mean, likewise, like my Bolly Cabillin story. I don't think I ever spoke to you about what was happening at the same time as we were trying to get a couple of big ass bands for this year's festival, as well as the bands we already had. So, it should be great stuff. Looking forward to it. Someone's got in their head that I am going to name the bands who were for the hotels and the bus tipping incident. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm not going on there just to shit and bang. I mean, maybe if you get me drunk at a bar,
Yeah, ask us on the dance floor at Manchester.
ask me on the dance floor. But no, I'm not going up to. I mean, although we are willing to give away a bit more on stage than we are online, I am not going to be throwing any of those bands under the bus for their behaviour at Damnation, because I want bands to be able to come to Damnation and also trust that some of that behind the scenes shit, it does stay behind the scenes. Even if I'm going to tell you what happened, I don't need to tell you who the band is.
Yeah, agreed. We've had enough of getting in trouble just for now.
You get yourself in trouble, I've been absolutely fine. No one's got an issue with me, James. Our Patreon has been on fire recently. We have got a lovely wee war chest for this tour coming up, James. And we're the promoters for Manchester, so that's others too. So it's going to be. I hope you're ready for some lobster and steak for your dinners, because it's been great. The support has been unbelievable for this podcast since day one, and we're not delivering. I'm not delivering back to the support subs currently, because there must be a backlist of at least 5 or 6 he's not got. I don't know if there's messages somewhere that are asking for stuff. I haven't seen anything, and I know I've been busy, so I've not been actively looking. But if your name's been drawn out in the last 6 weeks, remind me, bump me, send me a message, chase me somewhere, chase me on fucking Patreon or Instagram, send me a message, let me know that you are one of those folk and what you want from Trees or ArcTanGent, and we will get it delivered to you. The person for this week is, what have we got here? Paul Ormiston. So, Paul, you have been added to that list of people that need stuff for us. We will always deliver. We will get it to you, even if it has been a little bit chaotic recently. So,
Yeah.
you want to be involved in that too? Patreon.com/2promoters1pod.
Well, and the one thing, you always do the Patreon chat, and I just wanted to say that it occurred to me this morning when you messaged me at 7 a.m. that having the Patreon really is really important to us, in it supports the pod, but it also makes us, in the really hard weeks, we dig in for the patrons. I think you were like, when you were in Egypt, you were like, we've got to you can't miss a week. They're paying us. These people are paying us weekly. We've got to fucking do it. And like today, because this morning I was like, we're just not going to get an episode done this week. We'll just have to leave it. And I was like, no, we've got the Patreon, so let's fucking do it. And
it's true. People are supporting you. I mean, not only supporting you like vocally or coming to your shows or buying things like that. People are putting their hand in their pocket and paying. It's like, I mean, I compared it to like having your Netflix and your Spotify. Just drop out and see. I mean, there will be occasions. We'll be taking a break at Christmas and New Year. There was a drastic drop in listenership over Christmas and New Year, where everyone just goes and does their own shit. And if it's not necessary, well, why force through like a couple of weeks where it maybe not be? So we will take a break. There will be emergency times where maybe the pod gets bumped on a couple of days, whatever. But anytime we can make sure this is coming out on Thursday morning, I think now at 96 episodes, 97 episodes, there's been one that we bumped by one day. So we appreciate it, and we hope that we are shown that we appreciate it, because we will continue to keep showing up and continue to find new things to talk about. And going on this tour, I mean, like Brighton and Cardiff, like local bands. Brighton and Cardiff will cost us to go to. There'll not be enough money for James and I to get to Cardiff with accommodation and our travel in our van and take out Tom Begley for it not to cost us money. But the Patreons make sure that we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. We'll get hotels and we will get a decent van, and we will not be asking for people to sleep on their couches or their floors at fucking in their mid-40s. So it's such a great thing. We've got a subscription to Pelagic Records, so every few weeks you get a reminder that somebody's generosity has got you 2 brand new records to listen to, and it's great. So I want to say I appreciate that. In fact, this is probably a good moment as well to say what I was going to say earlier about this community and this. When I was across in Egypt, I said it was quiet. It was like fucking tranquil. It was like a postcard. So day 4, someone jumped into the pool, and half the people in it shat themselves. They didn't realise that they thought that was an artwork, a fucking painting on the floor. They didn't realise it was actually water you could go into. I mean, it really was that quiet in the place, and the people who were there were older than me, if you can believe it, and German. So when Kelly was ill for a couple of days and kind of up in her bed, there wasn't really a great deal to do other than drink and stare out across the sea. So she'd been able to go on and like have that laugh at myself about the whole Chino situation and talk shit about what would you think the ArcTanGent's going to be, and have that, like, I don't go onto my own Facebook and do that. I don't know why. I feel like everybody, when you first get Facebook, it's like, oh, let's show the world how great your life is, and then you realise you don't actually fucking care. It's like, as long as you're having a good time, why do you need to tell anybody else about it? And so I don't use them on Facebook, and I wouldn't use the Damnation Forum for those kind of posts, because it's not what it's there for. There's like 11,000 people in that group who want to know who the next bands are for Damnation. They don't necessarily care or know who Gavin McInally is. That group that we've got for 2 Promoters 1 Pod is the exact opposite. We are people that are now 2 years into listening to us telling you pretty much everything about my fucking life. I mean, you see when you stop and think about it, there's people listening to this who probably know more about our lives than do some of their pals. It's like how we get into music, how we feel about money, the kind of money we make, the money we don't make, the thought process of doing this as a podcast. We can get quite personal with it. So I feel comfortable going on there and having a laugh with people that are internet friends, a community. And it was brilliant. It really, not that it helped me through it, I was in any sort of mental health struggle, but it was nice to have some back and forth with this community that's on this podcast, rather than me just sitting there staring aimlessly at another palm tree for 4 hours waiting to notice to see if Kelly was going to get better that night and come down for dinner or not. So I wanted to say a huge fucking thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed the laugh about my whole situation across there as much as I enjoyed laughing at it, because I mean, that's what we were doing. I was a grown ass man in somebody else's workers' chinos for 6 nights in a row. And it
Incredible.
was nice to share the joke with you. So, aye, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you from me too. It is fucking weird though that people know more about you than, or they know at least as much as you. So this week alone, like on Thursday, I met up with Simon and Rob for a work thing, and I got there buzzing about Kneecap, and they both listened to the fucking podcast on the way to our meeting. So no one wanted to hear me talk about Kneecap because they'd already fucking heard it. And then I went to see my mum and dad, took Kit up to see my mum and dad on Friday night. And they were like, how? And I was like, oh, work's really stressful, but fucking, I went to see Kneecap. And mum's like, yeah, I already know about it. It's fucking,
It's like
no need for you to tell that story again.
your life's in pause when you go to see your friends and family. Nothing new to say. James, I don't want to hear it. I'll hear it next week's pod.
Yeah.
Aye, it's incredible that whole thing with Cadence and so you get to go and see Radiohead. I'm sure I have good stories to tell next week, but it really is it's a nice upside to the podcast, which I don't think I'd really considered at the starting point of doing this. Just that you can have 20,000 internet pals that you can bounce off of when you get bored as well.
Yeah, it's pretty mad. Do you want my Londoners tourist tip for going to the O2 arena?
Yes, please.
Now I realise that Cadence is a teenager, so this might not work for you, but when me and Lizzie went to see Madonna, we got off the tube at Greenwich, and we walked to the O2. So there's a path all the way along the river, and it'll be at this time of year it'll be dark, right? And so you've basically got the London skyline, Canary Wharf, and the other side of the river. The view's fucking amazing. There are a few drinking stops along the way, so it's probably about an hour's walk. That is all the way, just winding a little path along the river. It's a very nice way to end at the O2 rather than getting the tube. There you go. That's my tip.
Okay, good, because I'm pretty happy with my whole train journey down and back and the accommodation, but without Paul or Angela holding my hand, going through that fucking tube, I have no idea. I mean, the whole thought of it just absolutely like, what the fuck is this? Even when I had people hold my hand, like, what's going on? It's like, it just came off a tube and then fucking jumped on another tube, and people are using one side of the stairs and everyone's rushing about like I felt like being back in New York. Everybody's so important and everywhere they need to get. It's like in a rush, like everybody calm down. You're going to Tesco, calm down. It's like, it's not important, chill. So I would rather not do that part of it. So I'm hoping to get some. I'll probably be on the phone to you for advice. James, where do I go now? How do I get what one's O2 again? Is that big fucking blob in this guy? So aye, great. I'm sad we missed out the opportunity to go and experience Radiohead and London with Liz Bruzo. I mean, he was there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you looking at it going, right, I mean, because once you start partying with Liz Bruce, you know that's another 3 days of your life.
What my life doesn't need is between Damnation and the tour is meeting up in London with you and Liz Bruce. I just need to be calmer for a little bit.
He must be 10 years younger than us, eh? He must be mid-30s for him.
Yeah.
He has
Maybe
the batteries.
That's why it hurts.
It's like my brother. He's got the batteries, so there's just a wee bit more in the old Duracell bunny there than we've got. You know, like, I mean, you can go. I mean,
see, I'm fine when we're on it. It's the bit afterwards. It's whenever it stops. It might be all summer or all Damnation. No one's worried about me during the thing. It's when it's ended The batteries are fucking. There's battery acid all over the floor, and my tears mixed into it.
Well, I worry about myself during. I worry about my charge during it, so never mind afterwards. But he was there on Saturday. I've seen some of his videos. It looked fucking incredible. I'm looking forward to seeing it for myself tomorrow. He is the hero who has been with us since day fucking one. Mr. Lou's Brews with all the sauces. I had a quick look on his site before coming on here. He has about as an extensive a collection as I've ever seen available on one page. So he's clearly been grafting to keep those stocks up, because he's got his Tiki Taka, his two promoters, his Honey Banana, his Lord of the Wings. He's got his one of the Lou honey collection with the jalapeno and the spicier honey. He's got his spice rubs. He's got his candied jalapenos. I mean, there is a shit ton on there. You can get. He's even got his anal vomit 3 reduced for £12 into a tenner. You can use pod 15 and get another 15% off that. Go get yourself the restock that you need to get yourself anyway, and then introduce everyone you've ever met to Lou's Brews by getting them Christmas presents with, if they like it spicy, go with some of the spicier options. I still would have suggested anal vomit unless you dislike the person. But if they don't like it spicy, don't let that ruin your buzz. Go and get some of the fucking hot honey. Go and get the lemon piri piri. Get the Tiki Taka. The ones where flavour comes first, spice is the afterthought. So, aye, his spices are great as well. So see if you just like fucking firing some chicken into the air fryer every now and then for a quick and easy dinner. His wee spices are absolutely class for that, and they don't need to worry about the heat in it. So get yourself the candied jalapenos. Do everything that I think about. It's all fucking brilliant. They're also great. We wiped out our jar of candied jalapenos in about 2 days. So perfect idea for presents, and perfect person to support because he is a legend.
Great.
louisbrew.co.uk / No, it's not / pod 15. Use it there at checkout. Get 50% off your order.
Fantastic. Fucking yes. Okay, mate. So we're going to do some questions. I guess we got about 20 minutes left.
Yeah,
maybe.
Okay.
Half an hour.
Let's do some questions then.
Okay. Well, Sarah Thompson says, "How the fuck do you manage it all?" And I wouldn't normally put a question like this in, but I really this morning was feeling like that. That's how I felt. And I thought I'd be interested to get your thoughts on it. 'Cause I went out for dinner on Saturday night, and it often occurs to me that people don't think you have a real job, right? And people, not that anyone said that, and people think that really all you're doing is booking bands and announcing them. And the announcing process, they wouldn't know the massive amount of shit that goes on behind that, and the 34 emails just to book one band that goes on. So it's one of my frustrations, and particularly at this time of year, I kind of prefer it in, like, at least in October I can just book bands, or at least in May and June I can just concentrate on running a festival. But there's this middle bit, which we probably talked about this time last year on the podcast, of like sort of November, December, and January, February, and March, where I'm doing both ends of the job. So you got this week alone, I've got to have phone calls and emails with all of my production. So the marquee provider, we're talking, I won't tell you which, but we're talking one of the festivals about slightly changing one or two of our marquees, which is a difficult decision about how much that costs and what the production would look like inside it and how big the footprint is and does it fit into our site plan. There'll be a fencing conversation. There'll be all the other types of power, water, waste, sound, lighting, backline, stage decking. All those sort of conversations have got to start happening, and the budgeting around them. Then there's more booking. So, I'm about 2/3 of the way through ATG and Trees in terms of booking, which at this time of year means you've done the easy bookings in a way. Or you've either done the ones you wanted the most, like Primus and Chelsea Wolfe, which weren't easy, or you've done the easy ones where they fell into your lap and you booked them. And now it's the hard bookings, and the industry will close down. It's the only time the music industry closes is at Christmas, and everyone just starts, once they start fucking drinking in mid-December, it just seems to descend into fucking nothingness. There's a couple of conferences in early January that all the booking agents fuck off to. You just can't get any of them on the phone. any of them on emails. So there's loads of that to do. My inbox is fucking bonkers at the moment. I've got, I operate, I'm almost certain you don't do this, but I operate on a zero inbox, right? So I don't have stuff in my inbox. I've either deleted it or I've replied to it. I don't like sitting, as a lot of people I work with do, with thousands of fucking emails. But currently I've got about 500 I need to go through, and that's stressing me out. Last week, I can't tell you what these things are, but last week on Monday, something happened where I spent the entire day on the phone dealing with a problem. And then on Friday last week, it was a different problem, and I spent the whole day. There are some things running a business. We got 4 staff, fucking an accountant, and about 1 million contractors and 1,000 fucking booking agents. And some days just are phone calls. So mostly I'm like, isn't my job great? Aren't I lucky? But at the moment I feel a bit like, well, Sarah's question was, how the fuck do you manage it all? And I feel like basically at the moment I service everyone, all my sort of key stakeholders, I service really badly. I'm like, if you work for me, you're waiting for me. If you're an agent, you're waiting for me. I've got like multiple booking agents sending me messages saying, have we got a problem? An agent rang me on Friday who I really like, and he said to me, is something wrong? Have we done something wrong? What's going on? And I'm like, mate, I just can't there's just no time. I don't have enough time. So anyway, boo-hoo. I know this is your little fucking violin out.
Yeah, I've got my violin ready to go. So
and like today as an example. So I spent yesterday evening thinking, right, fucking tomorrow's a big day. I've got a lot of important things to do. And I woke up to a message, and the whole day's been podcast, right? Because there's first of all, you prep it, which is basically writing the basic structure. And then you prep what you're actually going to say to the basic structure. And then you record it, which takes two hours for an hour and a half podcast. And then school pickup, and then work again this evening. So I'm really lucky in my job, but I'm fucking too busy at the moment. Too fucking busy.
yeah, I call this episode Two Promoters Crying Out Their Profit. It's because I'm a bit to have a cry too. When I saw that question, I thought, oh, how well timed, how do we manage it? Oh, we don't. We just fucking don't. I currently, as I said, downstairs in my house is still like the pack down station from Damnation. And I understand I exacerbated that problem by fucking off to Egypt for a week.
You're allowed, although that is one of the big fucking annoyances of the music industry, where everyone just doesn't, no, you're not allowed a holiday. What are you talking about? Fucking no holidays. I'm ringing you. You had a week's holiday, mate. You probably worked fucking 14 days in a row. Or 21 days.
When we went there, if we're just going to be like praising ourselves, I suppose, or saying how hard life can be. I mean, I did work across here. I mean, podcast aside, I did do deals, I did take calls, I did deal with shit when I was across here too. So it wasn't like, it definitely wasn't out office on my email. I was clearing my emails each night. So that's the first bit. Today, it's like, so I don't have a settlement. So I don't know what the situation was, the profit margins from the Branca Studio drop. I don't know what the situation, the profit margins were from the Damnation itself, the stall. I have got some stray invoices. I've still to pay the portos. I have still to pay the likes of poor Paul and Angela, who are very last in line to get paid for anything, despite the fact I've been here for the day one and doing the most effort. The last ones get paid. That is not what I do. But I know that Paul and Angela have got a bit more understanding of the invoice element than, I don't know, any band agent. Are just like, fuck you, pay me. So I am not where I want to be. And then on top of that, I get up today to like, oh shit, now I've got a day to cram to get a lot of this stuff still tied up. Have they spoken to the venue about a debrief? Have they spoken properly to Paul and Angela or Callum about a debrief? I don't know a debrief about the merchant situation. I don't know a debrief about the volunteer crew. There has been no damnation. Would they be get right? Would they be get wrong? How do we do it? Other than what's happened publicly, either on the forums or on this podcast. That all still needs to happen. And then I desperately want to get the bands announced. I want to get 2026. We'll get with these ticket sales, 2,000 ticket sales are gone. I want to get the rest of the bands now. So I'm going into the chat, and I've posted last night saying, look, we're hoping to get something announced by payday. Callum and Paul were a bit like, fuck, like we don't know that, even though it's kind of apparent because we try to get it done for on the screens. But like, there's been no conversation of that. So then Paul's on the phone to me today going, mate, we need to get better in line with this because like there's shit that still needs to get done. Like the app needs updated, the website needs updated, we need to get new artwork. And you're talking about trying to get this for Friday. And I'm like, Paul, but I'm trying to fit the fucking spaces into where I can get it done. And I get it. I would like to have a meeting about a meeting so we can have a meeting about it, but we don't have I don't have the time. I want the priorities, the band's announced, and the priorities getting the fucking the tickets, the momentum keep going. We can catch up with that work. We can catch up with the app. We can catch up with the website. I know it's not the best way to do things, but we're a small team and we just need to work at it when we can work at it. And he's got a point. I don't disagree with anything he's saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm fucking firefighting here. And I know I've made my problem worse again by fucking off the Radiohead. But I want to fuck off the Radiohead. So I'll just get this done today. And then it's like, okay, but you get back kind of out to do that. I'm like, no, I'm going to do the podcast. Which I hadn't planned when I woke up this morning anyway, because I thought we'll try and squeeze it in on the Wednesday night. So, no, I've got 45 minutes now to plan for a podcast. And before I do the podcast, I will go and check to see what's happening in ISO Merch. I will go and check to see what's happening with Loose Brews. I will go and do an on the record. And I will have a prep to go. I will connect on a shit. I mean, this is not the way my house normally is. I don't have an Ethernet cable running downstairs into the front of my living room. And this mic's never connected to that. So you get yourself set up for that. And then you come off this, you're right, school pickup, Charlotte will be back down the road, and it'll be a case of homework with Charlotte, then cooking some dinner, and I think I'm taking her to like a trampolining or fucking dancing or something, and then get back later and I'm like, right, okay, now I can start my day at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night that I wanted to start at 9 o'clock this morning. So now I can get that invoice paid and I can maybe ask a question or two or stuff. I can check my inbox and clear through whatever is going to be there for what's happening through this conversation. So, Sarah Thompson, how the fuck do you manage it? Poorly, I suppose. But it is what it is, and I'm not willing to not go to Egypt and not go to Radiohead just so I can all my obligations will be seen to. Everyone who needs paid will be paid. Everyone who I made a promise to, that promise will be kept. But without a staff, without a PA, without like someone to help me hold my hand through some of the busier points, and this is very much a pinch point. Now I'll speak to you maybe in March and be like, start smoking cigars because I fuck all to do. I'll be like, I'll go through a 2-week period where I might as well be in Egypt staring at the sky because there'll be nothing else happening. But right now, a million things are happening all at the same time, and we're just making it up as we go along.
Yeah, and what you said about, I mean, what Paul was saying really rang true with me, because we had a really quite difficult conversation amongst me, Si, Rob and Mitch about, do we get this ATG announcement out before Christmas? Because there are a number of considerations. And now that we've got so many fucking different teams everywhere doing different things, press and social media and ads, and the, people that are contractors, they need a nice lead time to get the announcements right. And also I worry about, Christmas getting in the way, Black Friday getting in the way, and just so there was disagreement amongst our team as to whether to hold all the bands that we just talked about, whether to hold them until the end of January. And if it hadn't been a really, really punchy announcement, we would have held them to the end of January. But it felt like it was too good to fucking keep under you. You just had to get it out. Slightly different for you because it's your first announcement, isn't it? So I'm sure you want some bands out there. But for us, it was the second announcement, like 88 bands added to 50 bands or whatever.
And for us as well, it's like, what's the point of doing 2,000 blind bird tickets if then you're going to sit and by the end of January, getting into February, you've done 2,010?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what was the point of that? What was the point of having that fucking train leave the station and absolutely here we go, this is going to be a cracker, to then completely derail for 2-3 months as everybody forgets about it, and then try to pick up that, because once people have bought in, they're bought in. It's like they've got the ticket, the installment plan, it's like they're there. So when you're at 3,000 now, so you're more than halfway sold out, and you're like, right, okay, we're not even Christmas yet, and we're halfway sold out, and we've got fucking tons still to come, including the headliners and a full 2026 marketing plan where we can sit and take our time with and make everything perfect. But right now, we just need to operate the way that we operate, and until Damnation's got a fucking HQ and a staff, and we can sit down with assistants and everyone can go and do their bit, it's just how it has to operate.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of this leads nicely on to Michael O'Donovan's question, which is how come the first bands of ATG 2026 were released before 2000 Trees, even though 2000 Trees is the first festival to happen in the summer. And the decision making, we kind of started to talk through it there, of like when you announce is based on the number one thing is, have you got the bands ready to go, isn't it? We always go around the payday. Almost always, 99% of the time we'll go around the payday. And by that, I mean, probably the 25th in the month is the earliest we'd want to go, maybe the 23rd. And then we might go into the first week of the next month. But it feels like if you go mid-month, you know, if you announce on the 15th of January, no one will have money. If you announce on the 25th of January, people will have money. So we tried to keep the two festivals in silos. It's like, it's the same teams on everything, but the decision for one doesn't affect the decision for another. We try not to do it in the same week. So if you imagine that Kerrang and Metal Hammer are both going to write about the trees in ATG announcements, I think if you do them in the same week, it probably reduces the reach and reduces the excitement level. But that's forgetting the fact that fucking Damnation, Outbreak, Radar, Download, Reading and Leeds, they'll all probably do an announcement, which you don't know when they're going to be. So we didn't think about, is ATG or Trees first? What we thought was, we still want to get this headliner over the line for Trees, which ended up being Alkaline Trio. I don't want to do a 2000 Trees announcement without a headliner. I don't mind doing an ATG announcement without a headliner because the audience is different and they think about the festival in a different way. And that's not a criticism of the Trees audience, but it is a different thing. I think we came out the gates, everyone loved that first ATG lineup announcement without a headliner. So it was definitely the one to do first. It just felt like the right thing to do. So apart from them being in the same week, I have no opinion on which is first. And in January and February, when we do our next announcements, I don't know who will be first. It will probably depend on which bands I've got confirmed.
Yeah, makes sense. And people, I noticed that because obviously I don't have a sister festival for anyone to get this into their head of where the timeline is. But I noticed that quite regularly. People said, "Well, why was that with Trees here the same?" In my head, I'm a bit like, well, because of the circumstances. I mean, listening to the podcast, because of what's available. Well, how many things behind the scenes are tying up exclusivities and when and embargoes, and it's just because Trees happens first, it's like, it doesn't mean the Trees you're going to get your headliners lined up. Even though it would make sense in your head, you'd have your 3 Trees headliners and then you get your 3 ArcTanGent headliners. I'm sure that almost never happens like that. So you go with what you've got.
Yeah, exactly. Do you find it? I wanted to ask you this right at the start of today's podcast, but I couldn't get it in, and the moment had passed. Do you have? I don't think we've ever talked about this. You know, you have bands like Death Heaven who are on a tour. Do you find it harder to influence the date of the announcement when that's the case? Does the tour have to announce at the same time?
No. I mean, and we go pretty. It's cash dependent on everything. James said that. I mean, you want to offer the money. The band and agent management will be like, "Right, okay, well, we can do that. Or you can get it pushed." Because a lot of times what will happen, especially not Death Heaven's level, but let's say like a crippling alcoholism's level, where you're the one in control because you're the anchor at that point. Even if the money's not great, you're the one saying, "This is the reason why you should come to the UK," and everything else can go up to around that. And we'll allow dates in Bristol and London and in Glasgow, but we need it first, and we need it with several months in advance, and that's usually fine. The ones like Death Heaven, what I tend to find is Aram and Ra is they will allow you, or you'll do it as part of the deal when you're paying, because you'll still be paying. More often than not, you'll still be paying the chunkiest fee, and you're like, "Look," and they'll say, "Look, we're announcing on this date. It's up to you to get your ducks in a row to get announced 2 weeks before us or 3 weeks before us." But it almost never, I can't stand, I hate when an announcement goes out, it's that we're part of, that it just a tour gets announced and Damnation's in there. I never want it to be like that, because it's just, well, no, come on, tour date. You're showing up and playing in fucking 400 cap club, and then you're playing 6,000 capacity main stage with a 50-minute video. Well, not a tour date. It's like, I'm happy and willing to go exclusive or limited tour or be part of it, but it's not just fitting into the rest of your tour, so it shouldn't be treated as such. And
Yeah, agreed.
Like everything, some agents get it, some agents don't. I mean, and my big argument, not an argument, but my big point with this with the bands we're trying to announce now. It's like getting those up those screens and the projector on the wall and get them in. This is great for your band. This is like, we're going to throw this at fucking hundreds of thousands of people that it won't just be swallowed up. And then you'll get your announcement if you've got a tour after it. So you'll get 2 bites at it. And we'll be the ones shouting about your band and putting out the videos and waxing lyrical on a podcast about your band. Like, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want
Yeah.
your, like, this extra focus on the band that you don't pay for? I mean, everyone else you're paying. I'm going to get an advert in those magazines. Let's pay our contribution towards that. We're doing it for free. It's part of this. It's part of the service. But some people are just a bit like, I know, but it sounds like I need to make an extra call to management. And can I really be asked?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, we have a bunch of bands that will do tours around both festivals. So yeah, it's the same thing. I always try and put it in my exclusivity that we get a certain amount of time,
Yeah,
a month or 2 months.
And I'm always like, you get the ones that they'll make an agreement with you, and then they'll say, oh, we're going to do 2 dates, then they come back afterwards. And if the band's small enough, it's like, oh, any chance we can chuck in Nottingham and Bristol or something, I'll be like, aye, fair enough. No, fair enough. Even if it loses me a couple of tickets, I'm not a promoter who wants to get standing away of these bands get bigger. I want these bands to get bigger so I can book them again in 3 years' time, following up my stages. So I'm trying to play my part, but aye, sometimes it would help if they played their part also.
Yeah, 100%.
If we get time, with one more and then on the record.
Yeah.
Right, we'll go with it. Because I did want to answer this, but then I've got to the debrief thing. Ian Riley, Gav, how are you coping with the band's only using the only band making really good use of the massive fuck off screen on the main stage being Overhead the Albatross? Conjur's display was lovely too, but most of the time it just looked like you cheaped out and got a black and white screen. In fact, I don't know how I cheaped out. I was the one who put a fucking screen. I went with a 5-star fucking 5-star production, and some of the bands decided just to stick a fucking logo on it, which was neglect. It was production neglect. So I mean, right, okay. So who did I think used the screen really, really fucking well? I thought obviously Overhead the Albatross, and that's the reason they were in that slot. I saw them use the screen at ArcTanGent. I thought, how can you not use that fucking screen at Damnation? So they were moved on there because I knew that was going to happen. I thought Conjur's using the screen was fucking brilliant. It
Yeah.
was like some sort of like, you know, one of the orb things you get, like, you know, like you get in the, James, what the fuck am I trying to describe?
A lava lamp?
A lava lamp. It's exactly the 2 words I was looking for.
Mate, fucking yes.
It was like a lava lamp.
I'm sure Brady will be ecstatic to hear that.
But like a Trent Reznor inspired lava lamp. It was like the fucking thing of a Nine Inch Nails album cover, and it really suited it well, because not everything you can do. I mean, obviously Nathrak had an amazing use of it. They had videos synced to the music that were done just for Damnation, of just absolute scenes of horror. So there were bands that really did have clever use of it. I feel like you've got your Nathraks where, like, we're going to pummel you with imagery and information and as much abject horror as we can, as we beat you with music to that thing. And then you get Conjur's very subtle style, like, we're going to use every bit in this video wall, and it's all going to be that bit. It's not going to portray an image to you. It's just going to suit the style of our music. And obviously that Overhead the Albatross did it in a very emotional sense. And I thought they were all great. I also thought the use, I don't think you have to always go with video all the time. I thought the use of Wormrots, the inside artwork for the Hiss album was unbelievable. Every picture I see, I'm like, that is fucking incredible. This guy getting his, what looks like his throat slit open and blood everywhere, and then this grindcore band playing in front of me. Like, if there is any photograph of any show that Wormrot have ever done that didn't include a famous goat that's better than that picture, with them just using a static image on screen for that was perfect. Absolutely fucking perfect. Meryl Streep's one was really good, just Flowers, which he's obviously a major part of a lot of his shows. It was just his logo around. I thought that was good. Not everything needs to be like, oh, here's a full video production to us trying to be Amun Ra. Not everyone can be Amun Ra, but aye, like a Mesa or that, like just putting a black logo up on the black screen, I just felt it was like, oh my God, how many times? Do you know how much effort and time is spent with bands and tour managers and managements and agents to, let's get that drum kit and it has to be that head, and we want risers there and we need to do that with this style of lighting, and then we want, it's a 15-meter video wall and you put a white logo on it. It's like, you've got so much more to give. And I wonder sometimes if the bands that have never really been advanced properly to them or the information will go through are sitting for those balconies watching, like the Haunted, sitting there watching Aaron Arthrak blow the place away with this unbelievable video wall, and then they go and just stretch a logo onto it and then just slap it on. You're like, I wonder how they feel about it. I was like, is that the best use we could? That's really what we could have done. We could have put an album cover on it and stretched it a bit. We couldn't even get the ratio right. It's like, it breaks my heart every time I see it, because I know we pay for those walls. That breaks my heart. But like the song, the set list, like the type of drum kit they use, whether they fucking want the lights on in front of them or not, we have no control. That is the band's production. It's the band's set. We just offer it to them, and we hope, because we want it to be spectacular. And I had a few complaints about, oh, the video wall was so bright it sort of blacked out the members in front of you. Some people who wanted to see it. The lights are there, obviously they're available. They can switch them on. The guy in the lights desk can just press a button. If the band want to be lit up from the front, they will be. But we don't decide that. I mean, I can't go to the light desk and say to the guy, oh, by the way, I'm Gavin on this festival. Make sure you light up off on Punisher because I want to see his face. I'm like, that's not my position, and it's not my place to do that. So I'm as disappointed, Ian, as you are when you go and you see that wonderful production and it could be there and what it could do with it, and then you don't get anything from it. I'm a wee bit heartbroken, but I'm also heartbroken when the band don't play my favourite song, but I don't tell them they should.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, all of that, because we obviously have it at ATG, and it's not that easy to do visuals and make them work. Certainly anything synced to the music is really difficult. You then need to be playing to click, and that, that sort of Nordic Giants thing is a fucking massive undertaking to actually have the music and the visuals moving together. But something like Conjurer, I don't want to underplay how simple that was to do, because I don't actually know, but it was so effective and looked so fucking brilliant. All bands should at the very least be doing just using your fucking cool album artwork that you've got, like you said, is a step above a white logo on a background. But part of me, I try and encourage our guys, our advancing team, to really drill this into the bands early. If you put some effort into it, it will make a fucking difference and it will look cool as fuck. But some bands, it's just another show. It doesn't matter what festival they're playing, they're just on tour, and this is the only date with a screen. So, Mesa or what was the other band you said? Oh, The Haunted. They probably were just on tour, and there's the one time they had a screen, and they're like, nah, it's not. They're just not thinking about it like that. They're just fucking going for it. So, yeah, it's something that I want us to do better at ATG, about just fucking forcing the bands to fucking do something.
Aye. It makes it, and I feel like they do, and as I say, it doesn't even need to be difficult in the sense. I mean, whatever One Rocks, I'm sure One Rock do not do a lot of gigs where they're using a screen, but they put 2 minutes thought on here. They had a nice piece of artwork that was kicking about one of the hard drives, and it gets sent to the engineer, and it get put up, and it looked fucking phenomenal. I believe Portruela Guilt. There actually was a lot. I don't want to do a disservice to bands. There's a lot of bands that really did use the screens. Portruela Guilt used them. I mean, even something simple like Obscure, they used it well in their set with their lighting. There was a lot of bands when I walked in, I thought, I'm glad we've got screens in all 3 stages, because these bands are really, really taking advantage, and it isn't just that whole the white logo on the black is the one that gets you the most, because it could just be a few £100 fucking black sheet could have done the same job. So that is that. So moving on, our buddies Nice Saw merch. There's nothing else to be said here than here's how to prove a point. Their homepage has got a Radiohead collection on it, an extensive Radiohead collection. I'm talking like 25 different t-shirts, couple of hoods, vinyls. They have everything you could possibly want, from orange Radiohead shirts to fucking Pablo Honey on vinyl. So go there. I don't know what the price is, what merch will be until I arrive there tomorrow at the O2. And Radiohead are the kind of band, they do have some sort of conscience, so they'll probably try and keep it to what it can. But if you can get any t-shirt at that venue tomorrow for $19.99, I will eat my Radiohead t-shirt. I will fucking eat it. So these t-shirts are all there, $19.99. The hoods are $39. I don't think you're going to get anything like that. Do you know what prices? Do you look like your man with information there?
Fucking, of course, I'm not a man with information.
You look like you're trying to bet you.
I'm just taking a deep breath, mate.
So, 1999, from this site that has an extensive collection of the official merchandise, less than 40 quid for the hoods, a further 10% off using pod 10 at checkout. Go to the show, or if you've been over the weekend, and see how much the actual prices are against what you can still get the same product for. Okay, it won't be a tour shirt, but there's all there. All the artwork stuff's there, all the fucking very unique design stuff's there. I wish that I'd thought about this and ordering a couple of t-shirts for myself and my daughter before we go down. So I'll go down and we'll see what it is. But this is what I sort of all about quality, official merchandise for much cheaper than you're going to be paying when you're going to on the road. And believe me, this isn't about supporting the band or no support the band. This money for ISO merch all goes to the band. The reason they're probably going to be so fucking ridiculously expensive everywhere else is because you're going to have all the venue charges and the forced inflation above it that the band need to put on just to make sure they get the same amount of money they're getting for their 20 quid shirt on ISO merch. So there, I've been saying it since ISO merch came on. These guys are where you go for cheap quality official merchandise. isomerch.com. Use pod 10 at the checkout.
Good stuff, mate. Okay. On the
On the
record.
That is up.
Well, here's a band I've talked about before. The band is called Vower. They've just released a new EP, which is fucking brilliant. They just did a tour which sold great. You know, if you remember back a couple of years ago, they, alongside Unpeople, they were the band that I was just banging on and on about as being like the great hope. And I still think that Unpeople and Vower are the two fucking bands in the UK. And they are now starting to actually sell tickets. And, you know, their Bristol show sold out the other day. They're a fucking great band. The new EP is brilliant. If you like songs and riffs, fucking check them out. If you like Carnival, check them out. If you liked Black Peaks, check them out. If you like Soundgarden, check them out. They're a fucking brilliant band, and they're British, and they're ours. So we should all support them. And the song is called Stuck, and it's great.
Okay, I will do that. You have definitely been banging the drum for this band for a long time, and I've seen there's a fair bit of excitement for Vower, so long may that continue. I am also going to, well, not British, they are very much Irish, but I am going to go with our boys and Worn Out and a track called Deeper. Now, Worn Out are an abrasive Irish hardcore band. And they won't mind me saying about a smaller band in the grand scale of some of the bands that we put in on the record, like 800 plays in monthly Spotify. But they are just one of those fucking really great, hard-working, honest bands that are just out there doing their thing and loving the music. I was asked about the Pupil Slicer and LLNN tour, which will now be on the road at the point you're listening to this, and a bit of support band, and I put forward, or I suggested Worn Out. I thought it would be ideal for it, and the bands agreed, and they were taking it with them. I hope that this tour they smash it. So I'm not getting paid to promote this tour, but here I am anyway. They will have played Bristol, which I believe is your show, James, and Nottingham already. So I think by Thursday when you're hearing it, they're playing Manchester night. So that's Worn Out opening, followed by the wonderful Pupil Slicer, followed by the unbelievable LLNN, who were performing Unmaker in full. Do not miss this tour. Do not, honestly, 3 fucking brilliant bands. I'm sure ticket prices are not ridiculous. I will be there tomorrow for when you hear this. I'll be going to the Glasgow show, and then I've got Leeds and London before they wrap it all up. 3 great bands, all extreme but very different in their styles. And they deserve all the support they can get, because these are the kind of packages you want to see put together. Worn Out, Deeper, go check it out. They're not reinvent the wheel, not trying to. They are an abrasive Irish hardcore band, and that's what you get. They do what they do very well, and I want to see people show up early and check these guys out, because it take effort. As much as it's an opportunity for them to get in a tour this good, I bet it's cost them a fucking fortune to come across Ireland and get from city to city. So go buy an item of merch, support the guys, let them know how great you thought our set was. If you can't get there early enough, I'm not one of these fucking gig Nazis where you must be there for sport band. I mean, live your life, right? But if you can be there for Worn Out, you won't regret it.
Well said, mate. Well said.
James.
We did
fucking breath, mate. We need to get. We will be talking about Radiohead next week and my daughter's journey to see Tom York live. Until then, fuck, I hope we can get top of the do list, mate. I will speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate.